Morning, everyone. We are back. It's Sunday morning, and I'm going to show you guys everything I picked up from yard sales this weekend. So Saturday, I went down to my parents' house. There was a big community sale in their area, and it kind of like I grew up near essentially three different towns. Half our front yard was actually in a different town. We got trash pickup in one town. I went to a different town for school. Right down the street, about 3 minutes, is a different town. So it's all one big area. But it was three different towns. So we kind of navigated that a little bit because they had the addresses, but not the town. So it'd be like the street we would call like William Street. And you had to figure out what town it actually was in when we were searching. But it was raining the whole day. It was like sprinkling. So a lot of stuff kind of was like not pickable up, like got ruined. It wasn't really stuff I could pick up. Like there was a lot of people that still put books out, stuff like that. But I got some killer deals for early in this yard sale season. To be able to pick up as much as I did, I am very happy about it. So I'm going to show you guys. We're going to start off with the big one here. I spent $210 at this sale. So the first thing we picked up was this bronze or brass. I'm not 100% sure what metal this is, but this eagle. It's Wings of Glory. Solid bronze. It says it right on the bottom for me. But Wings of Glory. This has comps for about $80. So I picked this up from the sale. This was in the back of like a looks like some sort of like dog rescue area, and they had that for $10. So I had if it was $5, I was just gonna pick it up. 10, I comped it real quick, so it was an $80 piece. So I just said, okay, well worth it. Then as I was kind of getting ready to leave, that was really the only thing I was gonna pick up. A guy walked out of the store with all of these, so I'll take them out so you can see it. But we have 4 watches in that one. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 watches in this one. So we had a total of 14 watches in here. And I'll just cycle through it real quick. Some of the, we've got a little Croton one there. That has a key with it. Let's see. This one here. There's one in here that supposedly is going to be a $1,000 watch. And this is a diesel, diesel watch. That's a pretty cool watch. I like that watch. And then breed there. For some reason I thought that was a bread when I first looked at it. All right. Then we're going to hit a lot of these vintage, and I'll try to cruise through these ones. The case is, I can't tell, like it's like a faux leather. He said he got this from an estate sale and that he does estate cleanouts. But there's a ton of these like vintage Circa watches. So I'm gonna have to look a little bit more into these. And I'm hoping that all these are real. I'll have to, I'm gonna bring it to like some person that does a little bit more with like watches. Try to get that one on camera. But there's just tons and tons of these. Some of these have keys behind it, or maybe it's the key to this box. That's probably what it is, because there's 2 keys. But tons and tons of Circa watches. I only looked up Circa, and I saw that it sells like for about $100 to $300. Some of these, I don't know how well that's coming in. That one I can't get to focus, but you guys can kind of get a general understanding of that. This is 2 more Circas, I believe. So Circa, just a little there, and another Circa. The camera is not loving these, but then we get to the big hitter. So we got a Croton. I don't know what this one is, but my brother-in-law went out and looked at them, and then he's like sitting there like, do you know what you have? I'm like, no idea. And it's a Cartier watch. Did not know this brand, know nothing about it. I'm not a watch person, but supposedly this one is a couple $1,000 watch. My sister looked it up out of curiosity, and she found like a reselling, not a reselling, like a essentially like a jewelry store that would resell the watch, and it comped to this they were asking $16,000. So I am gonna say that I don't think this is real. Let's see if I can get this to work on this camera. There we go. So if you look at the 8 rune numeral there, I think that's in Arabic, and then right below it says Cartier again on it, but just doesn't look, I don't know, maybe it looks a little cleaner. I took a picture of it to kind of like zoom in on it. It didn't look the cleanest. This is the back, and what the back says. I don't know if anyone's a watch expert out there. I know I don't have a great following, so there's probably not a ton of people that are going to see this that might be really good with watches, and especially with my blurry photos here. Get myself back in focus here. If I get lucky enough where that's actually authentic, then that's going to be the biggest score I've ever had on a yard sale pickup ever. He said he didn't like comp anything. He said it was from an estate sale that had a lot of like precious metals. So it's weird that he would just throw it into like a sale, but then the fact that he sold an $80 Eagle makes me feel a little bit better about it for only $10. So I don't know, we'll see. But if it is what it is, it'll be a home run and a half. Picked up these erector sets. So these are old school erector sets. This one's like a plain, and I didn't even open them. I rattled it to make sure it was there. I looked at like this one, and then it has another tote right here. And in the tote, I saw that we had like an erector charger. We have like little power drill. I don't know if that'll have any like value for this, but we got the remote control because we have a car here. In one of them, there was a bunch of tires, and then we have the old school slot battery. If that works, that'd probably be good money. He's asking $10. I asked him if he would take $5 for it. Oh, and I actually have one more. And I figured even worst case scenario, this case would be worth it. So another erector set. So all 4 of these pieces, he sold to me for $5. A little tin house in there. I have no idea. I've never, erector. So I'm sure like, if I looked up some of these pieces after the fact, and some of these pieces, like one piece alone can go for like a lot of money, like $50. So I'm sure I'll do very well there. Didn't know what I had at the time. I thought it was cool, but it was one of those things where I was like, I don't know. In my head, I was kind of taking a chance, but now looking back at it, it was probably like a huge steal there. Up next, Porter cable. So this is just a Sawzall. So there's a bigger one here. Everything is still wet. I gotta clean this out. So obviously one little downfall to it was always raining. She had this open. I don't know why. We could have just left it closed. But picked up that. We got from her 2 Ugly Stick fishing reels or fishing rods. So these are decent rods. They're not like super, super high end, but they're not bad. I think this one still has the SKU on it, but it doesn't have the price tag on it. So I don't know if that one's ever even been used. This one has a rod associated with it as well. Take this out. Or reel. So you got rod and reel, just a little pen, nothing crazy with this pen here. But picked all those things up, and then we added in probably the biggest piece of this by, I should have organized this stuff a little bit together, but we got a bunch of Makita power tools. So Sawzall, I looked this up. This sells for about $60 to $80 just on its own. She had a $20 bill on just this whole lot. We got the charger. We've got a drywall saw. We've got another charger with battery, and we've got a second battery. Plus, it came in a Makita bag here. So, a couple $100 probably in this. I know Makita batteries right now are for some reason super crazy and like really expensive, hard to get. So, ended up doing the whole lot. She had 20 on the Sawzall, 20 on this, and then I think it was like an extra $8 on the fishing setup. We ended up doing $40 for everything total at that sale, and so got essentially paid full price for the 2 power tools and picked up the fishing stuff for free. So nice little pickup there. Went to another sale and we got some glassware. I'm not a big glass person, but this was just interesting. So we bought 3 of these shades, light bulb or glass shades. She wanted $20 on the 3 of these. We ended up doing $10 for this one, or $10 for this lot. Same thing here. This one is like orange, and I think it's definitely not, I think it's hand painted. It's got like a, kind of mountain woods, kind of desert feel to it. But 3 of those, they're all hand painted on that. She was asking $10 and we ended up doing, or $20 on the 3, and we did $10 for that. So all those there. And then the last thing we got from her was a set of 6 Fiestaware bowls. So 6 Fiestaware, like 6 8-inch. You can see still a little wet from yesterday. But Fiestaware bowls. So each one of those $10, $30 total for that purchase. Not the craziest deal in the world, but I saw someone trying to sell the watermelon bowls. I haven't gone into like any further back to see if it really had any like value. The watermelon bowls, the watermelon shades. But they were asking, I think, not 60, they were asking 80. I think it was like $79.99. If I could get $50 for each one, I would be thrilled. We'll see. I'll have to see if there's actually ever been a sale and what the sale comp was for, but very unique. It is cool looking. I just don't know where you would use it. Bought this for $4, and the reason why I bought this was because essentially I was just looking to make change. I thought it would be a little weird to go ask for change at a yard sale to break a $5 bill into ones. I always will give, as long as the kid is at their booth at a lemonade stand, I go give them $1 and just tell them to keep it. I don't ever get the lemonade usually. Unless they have like a bottle of water, I'll grab that. But I, as a kid, used to do that all the time. I lived on a busy road, and I did that constantly. I had lemonade stands, not constantly, a couple times a year. But I loved it, and it was, I remember times where people would go give you like a $20 bill for, 2 cups of lemonade, stuff like that. It just made my day as a younger kid. So obviously going to yard sales, you go to a lot of them, you see them a lot. But I will always make sure I do it. So I bought this for $4. This is a Rae Dunn. It's worth like $15-16. Not a great buy, and I'm not a big Rae Dunn fan. But I did that to get the $1 essentially to give to the little girl. Next we did a, this was kind of like you could tell they were at their local flea market a lot. So older stuff, but some kind of cool stuff. So pick this Hunting Club members only. This is like, the ducks are 3D or whatever you would call this. I don't know exactly what this is made out of. It's not like, it's kind of plasticky, but not, I don't know. But just thought that had a cool look to it. I picked that up for, I think, $3 there. Rest of this stuff from there is going to be at the bottom of this. Yeah, so picked up 1 and 2 wooden ducks. So little tiny wooden ducks, but had good paint to it. And then the kind of bigger piece to that are these 2 really big marble chest bookend pieces, 1 and 2 there. And this one's a little loose, but a little bit of like a vintage screw on the bottom. I thought they looked awesome. I'm not a huge chess player, but liked playing it growing up. Haven't played it in a long time. But I just thought these would look awesome. So I would think that this would go for okay. It does have like a little bit of a chip, but with the marble look to it, I don't think the chip really detracts too much for that. And I paid $13 for all 3 of these pieces. I think the bookends will do really well for me. For some reason, I think that Kirkland jeans are good. I don't know. My wife said that she looked it up. I picked up these Kirkland jeans, men's jeans here. They're $2 each. This is for size reference, 36, 32. But I know nothing about jeans. I'm trying to learn about it. One of the people I watch, I could have sworn buys and sells Kirkland jeans, so I saw the brand, just picked it up. For $4, I'll make a mistake. I'm okay with that if it is. Obviously being Costco, maybe not the best thing, but men's jeans, maybe men don't really care. I know I personally don't care what kind of jean I'm wearing. But second pair of Kirkland jeans, same thing. So I can even lot these up because they are the same size. Oh no, this one's a little bit bigger, 38, 32. So $4 for the 2 pairs. Actually, it was $2.50 because I was like, oh, I only have a 5, and he's like, oh, unfortunately, we don't have change. And I think he kind of knew what he was doing because we had also talked about he has some sports cards. I left my name and number with him, so we'll see if he ever gets back to me on possibly wanting to move those. But I gave him the extra $1 as like with no like problems, trying to make a little bit extra there. We'll see. Hopefully we can get a sports card deal done. This next one spent $38 at. So we got these Ping 1, 5, and 3 wood. So you got the driver and the 2 woods on there. These are old school Ping i2s. They looked nice. Like, you got some scuffing at the bottom, nothing like crazy with them. But the color on it was nice. The grip on there was in good condition, originals. Shafts don't have a ton of rust on it. That should go for about like $50 to $60, I believe. Picked up this TaylorMade burner, I think this was, or no, 580 XD. So once again, an older model, nothing crazy in this, but okay condition. You can tell it was used, 9.5. The grip needs to be replaced, completely frayed off, but shaft's in good condition, so grip is not a big problem. That's an easy fix. Picked up this DeMarini bat. This I might, actually, this I can now tell is a bad buy for the bat, at least. Luckily the bat was only $2, but I didn't even really look at it, but you can feel that it's like a triangle. It's not even close to round, so this one's a goner. I picked this up mainly for my son, so kind of stinks. It's probably a little bit too big for him anyways, but we've been looking to get him a bat. He's been talking about wanting to bring one. He had one last year, but it was way too heavy for him, so that one was a little bit lighter, but yeah, so no longer have that. But they did throw in this scooter for free. Let's see if I can get this out of my, stuck underneath my desk. But I asked them what they wanted for this, and they essentially were like, oh, well, we don't have the power cord. I was like, okay, that's fine. Do you know if it works? They're like, nope, no idea. I was like, great. How much does a scooter with electric scooter with no power cord, and if you don't know it works, how much does that cost? And they're like, how about free? I was like, okay, best yard sale negotiation of the year. So picked that up in that yard sale for free. Got these two FootJoy, a little bit more modern. A lot of FootJoy you kind of run into are the super old leather ones. A little bit more modern cleats there. And then I thought these were cool. My wife made fun of me for this, but these are pictures she did, I guess, when she was like 12. So this is dated from 1971 to, I guess, her cousins or nephews, or I'm not sure. It could be her nephew. She's 12, but maybe it could be. But rare circumstance. But she did Pinocchio, and for a 12-year-old, I thought that was pretty cool, and I just like the print style to it. I guess she had ambition to work for Disney one day, she said. Then she did Jiminy Cricket. This one I don't like as much, but I thought that, you know, it's a unique piece. Maybe someone will buy it. I have no idea. I threw it in. There's only an extra couple bucks, but I thought that one was unique enough to at least give it a whirl. Last thing I picked up, this was actually should have been with the $13 from the Hunting and Ducks and these guys. But I picked up and I was like, oh, I feel like I got something else from there. Well, it's right in front of me. I got this fan. So vintage fans do well. Now, the thing we're going to test out right now is, does this work? It was sitting out in the drizzling rain. So that is to be seen. Let's see if I donated. I think this was an extra $5. So look at that. Sitting in the rain, it's still working. They don't make them like they used to. So this should be okay. We got low, medium, and high. All seem to be working, oscillating. So this should be another $50 bill. Or no, 30 maybe? I don't know. I forget what this was. $30, $40 maybe. Gotta clean it up a little bit, but older vintage fans do well. Look them up. But that's everything that I picked up this weekend. I had a blast because I was able to go, we dropped the kids off with my parents and we went out, just my wife and I. Got a couple hours, weren't slowed down with the kids, which was great. And, you know, got a lot of, I think, good stuff early in the season for May and even in rainy weather. So happy with that. If you guys want to follow my journey as a full-time reseller, comment, subscribe, all that stuff greatly helps me out. And I'll catch you in the next one.